Welcome to the snapshot of Killing It, an entrepreneur's guide to keeping your head without losing your heart by Sheryl Loughlin. Here, we'll explore the key insights from Killing It. Introduction. Entrepreneurs are like artists. They have a vision of something that doesn't exist, and they're consumed with a desire to bring it into reality for others to enjoy. Entrepreneurs don't really feel like they have a choice in the matter. They're simply destined to do it. But also, like artists, the intensity of an entrepreneur's work often causes burnout, isolation, and a host of related problems: divorce, depression, drug abuse, and health crises that the business world has traditionally been reluctant to talk about. Typically, entrepreneurs don't feel comfortable talking about these problems, as they're afraid of being perceived as weak and flawed in a world that rewards strength and swagger. But to be truly successful, an entrepreneur must optimally balance the health of their mind, body, and relationships with the health of their business. Ask yourself these questions. Are you respecting your physical and mental health? If you're not prioritizing your body and emotional well-being, you're headed for a crash. Are you respecting the people who are important to you? Your relationships with your friends, family, and partner are permanent and need to be just as high a priority as your business. Are you living according to your values? If you find yourself making decisions you never thought you would make or prioritizing money over time with your family, do the hard work of reevaluating what's important to you. Are you having fun? If the ride has become only stressful or negative, it's time to get off. The entrepreneur and love. We're often taught that love has no place in business, but in reality, the opposite is true. Love is what enables businesses not only to succeed, but to be conceived in the first place. Most entrepreneurs don't come up with an endeavor or invent a commodity simply to keep busy and make money. Instead, they're driven by a passion for something, whether it's the product they're selling or a problem they're trying to solve. If you don't have a deep love for what you're doing, you won't have what it takes to see the endeavor through. Love gives you the energy you'll need to get through long meetings, financial frustrations, and boring paperwork. It gives you the genuine curiosity you'll need to problem solve and work out the kinks. And it keeps you motivated rather than resentful when you consider the time, energy, and money you've poured into your project. When you have employees, you must inspire that love in them as well. This not only ensures they have a healthy relationship with their work, but you can rest assured knowing that you have a dedicated team to handle things when you need to spend time cultivating your personal health. As a leader, model the love and care you have for your cause to your team and include them in the story of the company. At Cliff Bar, employees are invited on an annual bike ride to commemorate the ride on which the founder came up with the idea for the company. The entrepreneur and partnership. Partnerships in a startup come with a lot of pros and cons, and the stakes are high on both sides. On the one hand, having a co-founder means sharing a vision, having someone to share ideas with, and being able to count on each other. This means you have the peace of mind of knowing someone's there to pick up the slack, and you have endless creative energy to feed off. If you work well in corroboration with others, are willing to share control of a situation, and get inspired by running ideas by someone, working with a co-founder can be an invaluable and rewarding experience. On the other hand, most co-founders eventually end up going their separate ways for a variety of reasons. It's difficult to project at the outset what challenges you will face together, so it's crucial to make important preparations when you embark on the journey of building a company. First, you must ensure that you share the same values when it comes to the mission of the company, how it will run, and how you'll lead your employees. It's also critical to address the division of labor. Who will do what? What will you do if one of you feels the work isn't being shared equally? You must also avoid one of the most common pitfalls of partnership by dealing with the issue of equity. Address this candidly, early and often. Talk openly about each person's contributions and the appropriate compensation, and be clear that this can change. Equity can and should always be revisited to prevent resentment from building in a partnership. The entrepreneur and the supportive tribe. Because entrepreneurs are consciously taught not to show weakness, they don't talk honestly with each other. Looking weak might indicate to your employees that you're not a good leader, to your customers that you don't have the best product, or to your investors that you don't have enough control over what they're investing in. But no matter what, there are going to be problems and challenges. Pretending they don't exist isn't going to solve them. Sometimes you might be able to share these problems with your team, but most of the time, your best recourse is going to be your peers. Though the idea of sharing your vulnerabilities is daunting, you'll soon realize that other entrepreneurs have problems too. In fact, not only will they have dealt with the same problems you're facing, but they'll also have problems you've already overcome. In this way, you can help each other grow. Peers in other industries might be able to give you a new perspective on a problem and will offer a safe space in which you can air your concerns. But peers within your industry will be even more valuable, as you'll be able to provide each other with meaningful, actionable solutions based on your similar experiences and knowledge. Think of them as an informed but emotionally detached third party. You can't make good decisions when your thoughts are shrouded in secrecy. It's also critical to seek support outside of the entrepreneurial world. Your friends who aren't in business may be able to offer a fresh, new look at the challenges you're facing, but more importantly, they'll offer a more balanced view of life overall. Because they're not obsessively trying to create a business, they can see the bigger picture, and they'll have your back when it comes to your relationships, health, and mental well-being. Research shows that friendships significantly reduce stress, so keeping your life well-rounded will have the added benefit of keeping you saner and more effective at work. The entrepreneur and family. Entrepreneurial endeavors can take a huge toll on family, so you must anticipate problems at the outset and constantly reevaluate what impact your work is having on your personal partner and children. It helps for your partner to have some buy-in. Many entrepreneurs make sure their partner has shares of the company in their name, so they have a sense of ownership and investment in the company's future. Still, you'll probably have to navigate blame in your relationship. Entrepreneurs often blame their partners for not understanding the stakes or for putting pressure on them to be more available, while partners blame entrepreneurs for spending too much time and money on a risk that might not pan out. Entrepreneurs must remember to feel empathy for their partners, who are often tasked with keeping the home going and maintaining a stable income. Likewise, partners need to feel empathy for the entrepreneur, who is constantly struggling with an avalanche of decisions and responsibilities. That said, as the entrepreneur, you need to include making time for your family as one of those responsibilities. Schedule regular date nights and family dinners, with no work calls or emails allowed. At Sheryl Loughlin's company, Rebel, they enacted ground rules within the organization to facilitate this. These rules included no meetings on Fridays and no work emails during weekends. Look at your family as an ecosystem that's always fluctuating and ask yourself what needs to change to keep it healthy. Are you getting enough time with your children so their needs are being met? If you have to focus intensely on the company for a while, set a time limit. Recognize that while your family can get along without you for a while, it can't go on indefinitely. Also, try to find ways to involve your children in your work life so that you can model a good work ethic for them. Remember that your employees can help in this respect as well. Their job is to pick up enough of the slack that you have room to go home on nights and weekends and devote most, if not all, of your attention to your family. The entrepreneur, risk and money. Everyone thinks of entrepreneurs as risk takers, but the truth is, 4 out of 5 endeavors fail, and it's usually because the entrepreneur risked too much. The author and her husband, also an entrepreneur, had an idea they loved and went for it. Unfortunately, they didn't vet it properly, and it ended up failing and nearly bankrupting them. This is an all too common result. One of the first rules of starting a company is to thoroughly research your idea. Talk to people in similar industries and watch your own reaction to their feedback. If they don't think it's a good idea, do you listen to their reasoning or just dismiss them as naysayers? Do you find yourself coming up with buts and excuses? That's not a good sign for your success. Even if you do have a well-researched idea and a solid plan, think carefully about going too big too fast. A good 3/4 of startups that fail do so because they scaled up too quickly. Set up an exit strategy and pick a number on your budget that you won't go below. Decide how long you'll give yourself to work on your idea and stick to that deadline, whether that means getting out altogether or pivoting to plan B. If the risk pays off, it's essential to your health to assess what money means in your life. For more and more entrepreneurs, the goal isn't just financial sustainability, but ethical impact as well. As millennials are beginning to dominate the workforce, the focus is shifting to building businesses that have a positive influence in terms of global poverty, environmental conservation, climate change, healthcare, and other important issues. This may mean hard conversations with investors, but it will always be worth it for you to live according to your core values. Financial metrics aren't the only way to assess success. Ask yourself if money is defining you. Has it come to mean status rather than stability and giving back? You can't have a healthy sense of self-worth or present yourself as a good role model to family, friends, and team members if the only bottom line for your company is a monetary one. Your company must represent other aspects you're proud of too. The entrepreneur's physical and emotional well-being. Because entrepreneurs work in a profession where it's very easy to lose control of their company, they're at an elevated risk for divorce, drug abuse, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, obsessive-compulsive disorder, serious health issues, and a host of other emotional problems, including suicide. Entrepreneurs tend to be perfectionists, and perfectionists are already at risk for some of these traits and behaviors. Thus, the intensity of building a company can bring these problems out. Because of this, there needs to be a fundamental shift toward talking about this risk openly in the entrepreneurial world, particularly in MBA programs where students are taught to avoid talking about perceived weaknesses. As an entrepreneur, it's important that you prioritize your own mental and physical health. Try meditating for 5 minutes each day, even if this just means stopping what you're doing to sit and breathe. You'll immediately find yourself less stressed and better able to focus on your tasks. Don't skip regular medical care and treat your diet, exercise, and sleep seriously. You can't be an effective entrepreneur if you're burned out, so assess whether you're pacing yourself well or if your work life is full of big ups and big downs. Long-term success should be a marathon, not a roller coaster. Wellness means knowing when to let go of your company. It's rare for entrepreneurs to stick to one company forever. Sometimes they leave in a bitter falling out, or they get slowly pushed out. Sometimes the venture is failing, and you must know when to invoke your exit strategy. Or maybe you've simply outgrown your vision and want to move on and prioritize something else. Whatever it is, it's essential to allow yourself to let go, and it's much better for your well-being if you can manage it with grace and peace. Leave in such a way that if you run into someone from the company later, you can look them in the eye without embarrassment. And try to remember that leaving means opening yourself up to new opportunities. Conclusion. One of the most difficult things to remember, and one of the reasons so many entrepreneurs fall prey to substance abuse and mental disorders, is that your self-worth is not inextricably tied to your business. You can't be successful by any metric if you don't feel grounded with a deep sense of who you are, what your values are, and whether you can pick yourself back up if your venture doesn't pan out. In this snapshot, you learned to ask yourself these questions. Are you respecting your physical and mental health? If you're not prioritizing your body and emotional well-being, you're headed for a crash. Are you respecting the people who are important to you? Your relationships with your friends, family, and partner are permanent and need to be just as high a priority as your business. Are you living according to your values? If you find yourself making decisions you never thought you would make or prioritizing money over time with your family, do the hard work of reevaluating what's important to you. Are you having fun? If the ride has become only stressful or negative, it's time to get off. By answering these important questions, you'll live a more balanced life with the health of your mind, body, and relationships on equal footing with the health of your business. About Sheryl Loughlin. Sheryl Loughlin received her MBA from Northwestern University's Kellogg School of Management. Formerly the CEO of Cliff Bar, the co-founder and CEO of Plum Organics, and the executive director of Stanford's Center for Entrepreneurial Studies, she is now the CEO of Rebel, a plant-based beverage company that emphasizes health and environmental sustainability. She lives in Santa Rosa, California, with her husband and sons. Thank you for listening to the snapshot of Killing It by Sheryl Loughlin. If you liked what you heard, then make sure to explore the rest of our snapshot library to continue gaining key insights from nonfiction books in a matter of minutes.
Thank you for listening to our quick learning audiobook review series. If you liked what you heard, then check out our channel for more free audiobook reviews. We post new audiobooks every week. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell to be first to hear of our latest reviews.